The Techno-Union Army is at your disposal, Count.
And make it look almost exactly like this.
That's cool. Not very practical.
I think it still pick up.
Get all the parts.
Hey, YouTube, we're back. We're back with our next exciting episode of our comic book channel here. Now, again, got my special guest Jose here and my special guest Mike.
Special guest Mike.
Hoi hoi.
Hey,
Today?
now we can get to the comic books, Jose. And the first one we're going to start with is Jose's book. And this is 2001: A Space Odyssey #1. So go on, Jose, tell us about it.
Okay, from December of 1976, some Bronze Age goodness from King Kirby. It's got several things that I look for. It's got a nice Kirby cover, and it's a #1 issue. Of course, when #1 issues meant something, not like now where basically you get retreads and reboots and reimaginings every few years. So,
Yeah.
like I said, you get two nice good things here. Now, I've recently picked up a lot of Kirby, 70s Kirby, of course. Now, of course, I always think, you know what, here's a man who basically just worked through, like, what, how many decades? 5, 6 decades? Starting in the 30s, before World War II. He fought in World War II. He created Captain America, one of the first superheroes to
yeah.
fight against the Nazis. Had a career that lasted into the 80s. And you know what? I'd love to pick up some nice Kirby Silver Age or earlier, but like I mean,
things this year too.
you know what? It's not in my snack bracket. I think we mentioned it in the previous episode. Like I said, you got to punch your weight in this world, and like this is my first book. It's my bargain book, my little key book. It's a #1 with a nice Kirby cover. Not much was paid for it. Picked it up at my local Gotham Central. It's a wall book. They've upped their game. Like I said, they only used to have modern variants
Yeah.
and slab modern books. They started peppering their wall with some more vintage stuff, which I'm always in my favor for.
Yeah.
So that was a snag for them. $15 Canadian. I mean, I don't know what the exchange rate right now is. What, 11, 12 bucks US. Nothing paid for this book. And like I said, yeah, I'd love to pick up Silver Age Kirby, but like I said, when your wallet can't handle that, I always like starting now these last few episodes with a bargain book. This is my bargain book of the evening. $15 paid for this book. Great cover, Kirby. What can I say?
Yeah. And you're right about the Gotham Central. They have started adding a lot more vintage books. The only problem is, sometimes the prices are good, but sometimes they're really not.
You got to know your pricing, or else you'll get.
Yeah, but I also feel that probably some of the books are on consignment. So like
Yeah.
I said, sometimes they have to follow with the lead of whoever's wanting selling that book. Like I said, they had a nice Kirby Forever People #1, first full Darkseid appearance, and I mean they wanted almost a couple $100 for a VG grade.
You got to know your prices, or you get Brexit.
Yeah.
Brexit.
Okay, great lead-off book, Jose. Let's get to the next one here. Okay, so this next book is mine. Strange Tales number 148 from September 1966. I bought this last week at Retro Rare Collectibles. Wasn't actually looking for this book, but he got a stack in of really nice Strange Tales books, and I found this one. And Jose's a lot smarter on this stuff than I am, so I think I'm going to let Jose talk about the book because he knows a lot more about it than I do.
I think he's overstating things when he says he stumbled into it. I think what I remember, if my recollection is correct on this book, because like I said, I purchased that 146 at the same time he was buying this book, is that I mentioned to Paul that out of the ones he had, this was a kind of like more major key, because if you'll notice from the cover, it says, "Enter Kalu." Now, Kalu is one of the Ancient One's other disciples, kind of like Stephen Strange, guys who's trying to become a mystic master of the sorcery arts. So that's the key issue, part 1 of this issue. And obviously the second part of it is it's also got the origin of the Ancient One. The Ancient One is basically the all-knowing, all kind of powerful sorcerer who basically teaches the Doctor Strange, and that's how he gains his power. So it's an important issue in that sense too. What bothers me about this book, and it's actually Paul found a better copy. Now, I have a copy that Sandy has with me, one of 10 books that I'm getting CGC'd. I have this book, and I would say mine's got a kind of like a crease, a major crease down the right-hand side. His is a nice, clean book. I would say his probably is a 7.5 or around that. Mine, I think, is about a 6.5, so it's about a grade lower. So the bastard got a good deal on it. $50 too, which is half the price what I paid for mine. I overpaid for that one, but what can you do? Sometimes you do, right?
Sorry, dude. It happens sometimes. Yeah. Okay, Big Mike, Fantastic Four number 90. Fantastic book.
Absolutely. 1969, Jack Kirby, Joe Sinnott cover. Edited and written by Stan Lee.
Cool.
Who? Stan Lee? Who's that?
I don't know who that guy is. Just filling in the run. You know, I mean, look at the price tag. $20. It's not a, you know, a near mint would be $70 in U.S. dollars. That's $20 Canadian. You know, it's maybe a 6.5 or a 7, and I'm happy with that. I'm fine with it. It's great.
Yeah, not a key of any type, but
No.
A real nice Silver Age book.
But it just adds a number to that really long list of Fantastic Fours that I have, and so good.
And at $20, come on, man, you can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 brand new books that are going to be worth nothing versus that. Come on.
If you see a Fantastic Four book on this show, you probably know it's Mike's.
There you go.
Exterminate! 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 Sorry, we couldn't help ourselves there. Nobody ever gets to see my Dalek because he's always holding up the comic books, but he never gets to be in the movie at all. So
He got out to play tonight.
he got out to play.
Yep.
So what do we got here? We got a real nice copy of Justice League of America, or as they like to call it today, JLA, number 15.
Yeah, JLA 15. This is an early Silver Age book, or at least early for me, actually. It is the older Silver Age book I have. This is from all the way back November of 63. So this little bad boy is over 50 years old.
Wow, that is getting back there, eh?
Yeah. So another thing to mention about this, and I don't know if this is like basically, kind of a run of things. This is the second consecutive non-key book. I mean, I picked this up. It's not really a key at all. I mean, it's the second appearance of the Atom and JLA. He joined in the previous issue, but that's not a big deal. But like I said, I loved it because of the cover.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I picked this up from Retro Rare, from Sandy. This is from his personal stash, as I should put it. It's from his collection. He's selling some things off. I think he wants to raise some funds for his kids' education, so that's always cool. It's a nice mid-grade book. I'd say about a 5+, 6.5, maybe. So I shot up a 7, but definitely 6.65 easy all day long. I should mention this was part of a bundle. Like this is the bundle that I picked up at Strange Tales 135, first Nick Fury, Origin of Shield, and Hydra and stuff. So that bundle was that book, this book, and a nice copy, like high mid-grade Strange Tales, all for $250 if I remember correctly. So I figure I have in this book about $100 roughly Canadian, so about $75 US. For that kind of a book, it's a great book.
Yeah.
Another reason I should make of course, the cover. What drew me to it? Of course, that big hulking kind of golem, kind of stone giant kind of guy. If you look at the head, if you know anything about ethnographic history or visual things, I'm Chilean, so that's a classic Moai head from Easter Island.
I recognize the Easter Island
I mean, that's a
connection too.
complete riff or a swipe, as they would call it there. Now, this guy, and also when you look at his body, and it's like I said, these guys are all engaging. The JLA is climbing all over him practically.
Yeah.
Look how his kind of body kind of thins out into this kind of six-pack ab muscle builder kind of frame, where you expect more of a pear-shaped or hulking kind of guy.
Yeah.
And then look how his kind of below the legs, his things from there below the Green Arrow bow there, it doesn't kind of make sense as far as the way it's going. I mean, these are clunky things about the cover. I think perspective is off, like the scale of the figures. Like you see Aquaman struggling on the top right corner near, and the Green Lantern's kind of flying behind him shooting ray beams. And the scale, like the Green Lantern, should be obviously significantly lower because it looks like he's flying by a foot or two and it's about to knock Aquaman in the head. All these things kind of don't make sense visually.
Yeah.
But guess what? I mean, I haven't knocked this book. These are the things that give it charm that I really liked about it.
Exactly.
So that's why I bought it. And
They
like
were
I
made
said,
for kids.
yeah, and you
There
know
you
what?
go.
I think it's engaging. It's charming. Like I said, the artist I should mention, of course, this is a Murphy Anderson cover, and it's a Gardner Fox story.
Yeah.
So classic, big names from the Silver Age in DC anyway. Another thing I should note about condition, it's got a date the receive stamp on the top left-hand corner by the DC. It's unobtrusive. It's not anywhere near where it's going to make a great difference. And I've just recently graded up on grades. I mean, even up to low mid grades, low high grades, I should say, 9.2, 9.4s. As long as it's not obtrusive, you know, like I said, not like right in the middle with that amazing Spider-Man, right in the middle, that 74.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect it at all.
Yeah.
So it was a nice pickup, and my first JLA title.
And if you have to have a stamp on the cover, you couldn't have picked a better place to get it.
Exactly. It's hardly noticeable at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice book, Jose. Thanks for bringing it in.
Yep.
And the next one, this is one of Mike's books, a really beautiful copy of X-Men number 45. Wow, Mike. Nice looking book there.
Thank you. I don't know how to say this. We went to the convention a couple weeks back,
That was a small Comic-Con at the down on the airport strip there.
and I was a little off my game. Unproven ground to me. You guys had already been to a few of them. I ended up buying a book that I already had. So what do? I take it home
Mm-hmm.
and see which one's the better copy. Traded it in for this,
Yeah.
added a few more dollars, and came up with this. So, and I'm very happy with this. This is very white pages, number 45 from 1968, X-Men number 45, John Buscema cover. Just working away from 143 all the way down.
Yeah,
and
you're
this
working
is,
through your run, man.
Yeah, working through the
Yeah.
run, and so it's like, shit. Actually, it was a Fantastic Four that I bought that was
Yeah.
an extra,
Yeah.
and it actually had some pen writing on, and it was amazing. I'm going to a guy who was an advisor for Overstreet, and he gave me the price that I paid for it in trade, and right there I said, okay, well, he goes, but you're looking at the big bins. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
fine. Whatever, but still I managed to get the full price, full pop that I got for the book, which is really good. So, not much room, but
Yeah. Well, you're never going to have a lot of room of leeway of bargaining on the X-Men books because everybody wants them.
No.
I mean, it's a nice book. I guess it's no key by any stretch of the imagination, but any X-Men book in good condition is going to cost you a few bucks because there's a lot of collectors out there, that's for sure.
Well, there's several things going for this book. It's got a white cover, and it's got pretty white cover. It's a pretty dynamic Buscema cover with Cyclops there, who's actually one of my favorite of the X-Men. And the third thing I would say about it is Quicksilver, and he's got that character of Quicksilver has really got a lot of pop lately because of the X-Men movies. Days of Future Past probably had one of the
for
best
sure.
scenes with Quicksilver,
Yeah.
and he was also good in that X-Men Apocalypse. So, like I said, stuff with Quicksilver should probably get a little bit of a bump up and stuff like that. So when you got Quicksilver on the cover, fighting the Cyclops, that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
and just to I opened it up to take a really good look at it, and the pages are white.
Wow.
They're not yellow white. They are white.
Which
That
is-
like
yeah.
brand new.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's a great book, Mike. Thanks for bringing it in.
Nice pickup.
Right?
Okay, so this is kind of like a young old sequence. So this should appeal to our newer viewers and our older viewers alike. And these, one of the books we're going to be showing is mine, and one of the books we're going to be showing is mine, but Jose also owns a copy as well. So, and of course, not of course, but this deals with Nightwing. So take it away, Jose.
Yeah, so with our first segment, I did a top 5 favorite covers, which I've done before with Supergirl. Here we're doing what you called a new, old, or a vintage, modern, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
If you're more sophisticated, you can call it whatever you want. We have 2 books. with a connecting thread, okay? Whatever it's a theme or in this case, I should start out by saying that this is the rebirth, #1 for Nightwing character, okay? So this is a variant cover. They got different artists to do the kind of basic cover with the superhero there with kind of like a logo standing them. I believe the Supergirl one I purchased is the artist is fanboy favorite, Adam Hughes. So
Yeah.
it's something that actually is a pet peeve of mine, like constant reboots. Like, how do we feel about them? Like, for example, Convergence sucked. I mean, I remember I bought 2 issues exactly, Action Comics, which
Yeah.
basically featured Power Girl, and the second one she was fighting Wonder Woman. It's a nice Amanda Connor cover,
Yeah.
but basically that's it. My purchase of Convergence. I mean, I guess you could say the New 52 and the Rebirth were well received generally, but it's a constant pet peeve when you're basically rebooting stuff. I mean, I wish they'd just let things run and give it legs and stuff. So.
Yeah, and my opinion is a matter of public record. I hate it. Rebooting a series every 6 months, or Marvel is a bigger perpetrator of that than DC
Well,
is.
when it works, and when it doesn't, you fall on your face, and you basically end up giving at the same place. They're trying to attract newer, younger viewers, but basically alienating the older crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I've always felt that if you're going to collect any Marvel or DC superhero, you want to collect Volume 1.
Yeah.
Period. Full stop. And that's not to say that the other volumes aren't interesting, and some of them are, and some are of value. But it for me, as an older collector, it's so damn difficult to keep track of everything nowadays.
I think with major characters, you want constancy. You want like a legitimate thing. I think you should always be able to justify why you're changing course of direction. Maybe sometimes it's needed, but sometimes with some characters like Supergirl, where we're in their 7th series or something like
Yeah.
that, it becomes a little ridiculous.
ridiculous. Yeah.
So anyway, so enough said about that. So let's get to now the vintage sector. We talked enough about this book. I mean, it's from an investment standpoint. I mean, there is news, so we got a little bit of nerd news factor to this. There is in the works a Nightwing movie. So let's get to the vintage side, and we flip to the vintage book. And of course, what needs to be said about this? Tales of the New Teen Titans, issue number 44 from July of '84.
I love this book.
Hey, yes. First appearance of Dick Grayson as Nightwing. First full appearance of Jericho. Origin of Deathstroke the Terminator. A trifecta of goodness there. This is Paul's book. I got it to him from his birthday a little over a year
It
ago.
was my birthday, yeah, and he got me this.
Uncle Jose got it for you. So, what can I say? Here it is. This is the issue when Dick Grayson takes the mantle of Nightwing, and thus it's his first appearance as the character. Fans are anticipating Nightwing popping up in a movie or TV show, and the demand for this comic has been on the rise. More about that in a little bit. Well, it's no longer a sleeper is what I'm saying for sure. With periods of downtrends and slight heat during various times, it's now on the up. Another first appearance, of course, is of Jericho, who is Deathstroke's youngest son named Joseph Wilson. Jericho was a superhero from the start and became a member of the Teen Titans. His superpower is the ability to possess another person by mere eye contact. He gains access to the subject's physical, mental, and magical abilities while in possession. Finally, this issue has the first origin story of Deathstroke the Terminator, told to the Teen Titans by Adeline Kane, Slade Wilson's ex-wife. This issue is part 3 of the storyline to the Judas Contract, which started with issue number 42. Adeline Kane accuses Tara of being in league with Deathstroke in this issue. Now, overall, this key issue is not rare, or that's the general perception in the marketplace. However, and since we are talking about an 80s comic during the evolution of the direct market, there are newsstand versions of this issue, and there's also Canadian 95-cent price newsstand price variants do exist for this issue.
Yeah.
What exactly that means price-wise, I haven't done the research on. Now, out of all the Teen Titans Copper Age key issues, this is definitely the one to gun for concerning Nightwing. But it is also important as a Deathstroke key as well. News of Nightwing coming to the big screen has reignited interest in this first appearance. The Lego Batman movie director Chris McKay is in negotiations with DC Warner to helm a live-action Nightwing film. Bill Dubuque, who penned the screenplay for the Ben Affleck movie The Accountant, is writing the screenplay. Slabbed 9.8 copies are already selling for over $300 US again.
Are you serious?
Yes. Comic book realm breakdowns at 9.8, 93.75. At 9.6, 82.50. At 9.4, 75. At 9.2, 72.75. And at 9.0, 71.25. How realistic those prices are, how much guidance you can get for them. What can I say? If you can spend the extra $23, $24 and get a 9.8 for under $100 US, I would buy it twice over.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I bought that a year ago. I paid $80 Canadian. It looks to be at least a 9.2, 9.4, maybe a 9.6. Who knows? What is going to happen if the movie comes off and if it is any kind of success, that you'll see the price breaks on the highest grades between a 9.8 and a 9.6, between a 9.6 and a 9.4 really widen.
Wow.
You will not get, $2, $3, $4 spreads.
yeah,
You will
absolutely.
get tens, sometimes more. As far as that, sometimes a 9.8 can be twice the price of a 9.6 because there's so many of them in this case.
Yeah.
So use your judgment, but what I would say is, if you're looking for it, look for at least in a 9.6, 9.8. Otherwise, you're not going to get the investment value you would. But if you do look on a 9.8, think about it. It's already $300 US, and it's only going to go one place up if the movie comes off. So my investment comic of the episode. And I should say, I gave that one to Paulie, and I picked mine up before, so I had a second copy, and it was a perfect gift. Of course, guess what? I paid twice as much for mine.
Oh.
Well, I
Ouch.
appreciate the gift. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think we could pretty much agree that what they did with Robin, transforming him into the old Nightwing character,
Yeah.
was a definite improvement.
Yes,
He's now, yeah.
I don't want to be graphic about it, but it gave him his balls back.
Instead of becoming, instead of being exactly. Instead
I
of
had
being
to be said.
Instead of being a sidekick, he is now his own man.
Man, yes.
Yeah.
And I love this cover. Like I said, with behind each character is kind of like a little vignette. Behind Deathstroke there, you got the kind of Vietnam kind of jungle with the helicopter.
Yeah.
Nightwing, you got the Teen Titans. And then Jericho, you got his mother and Tara and some other guys there. So it's a really cool George Perez cover.
Yeah.
Classic cover. If you've got this in high grade, people are already thinking 9.6s, 9.8s. They're sending them in to get slabbed.
Cool.
yeah.
Fantastic. And that's a lot of information, but all very good information. Jose, thanks for that. Thanks very much.
Hoy hoy, signing off.
Special guest Mike. Yes, yes.